Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican police versus Latino.
Is that correct?
Literally not. Oh, for crumb's sake. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
All right, welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Hope you had a fabulous lunchtime. Mine was great. Mrs. Ari made me some nachos. And they were delicious. But they're nachos. Just kidding. A thumbnail is ready for this one? Awesome. We will get that done right now. How about that? I think I need to accept the invite for your team before I can see it. That's not it. Red Pan, it says there's an issue on our end. Please try again. Trying again. All right. Welcome back. We're about to go back to court. We have to first do a couple things. We have to give away the internet, which we were going to do to Greeners. Greeners, congratulations, my friend. You were first in chat, and we're going to punish you for your promptness. Everything IP related worldwide, including AWS's snafu, is now your problem to fix. So good luck with that. Give it to Kim. Give it to Kim, he says. Well, lucky for you, Greeners, under the rules of internet ownership, you are allowed to gift the internet one time.
Hush! Now I'm trying to have court. Don't raise your voice again.
So we're going to go ahead and gift it to Kim. Kim, congratulations. You now are the internet winner, but you cannot re-gift it. I'm sorry if you're busy. You might have had other plans, maybe vacation, Disneyland, things like that. I'm sorry. Cancel them. You're now the internet owner. Everything IP-related worldwide is your problem. So, except for this, Stephanie got a pinch blister on my pinky for lunch. Oh, pinch blisters hurt, but pinky? You got pinky? All right. Let's see. Where is the next one? Did you share it with me already?
How does he do that?
Looking for the email. Let's jump back. Let's go down to court really quickly so we can at least watch and see if something happens.
I'm not going to argue about semantics here.
Have them send someone with more experience.
Get downloaded a bunch. Red pen, Canva. Here we go. Ooh, court's coming back right now. They said they'd start right at 1.
This is much better than the WebEx, by the way. I can actually hear most of them.
Diplomatically.
Just
I can hear the judge.
streamline and sit up here a little bit.
It's a hot
I'm
mic in
trying to
court.
have court. Don't raise your voice again.
That was lunch.
Is this on to that?
Just stay.
It was turkey and.
Smash burger.
That was that. What did you have?
Smash burger.
Oh.
But here's the thing. Mark is trying to give me his fries.
Oh,
I'll fight them. Yeah.
I think we're here.
Thing with your right way.
No,
You know?
but just that.
Everyone's talking in court. But,
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I know. I like it. Everybody out there first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's normal. Well.
A little bit of a hot mic going on. We're trying to hear what's happening. They're talking about the audio. They're talking about
Yeah, guys, that screen lit up.
the tech.
What's going on?
Oh, it downloads as a zip. I must have multiple files in it.
They're like, oh, you thought.
A lot of people talking right now. Stubby and lunch didn't work. Means we've got a drive issue.
Oh, yeah, this morning I was like.
I'm trying to have court, don't raise your voice.
This is so
Run
noisy.
away for, run off for a while. Almost sort of excited this is closed.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
It's gonna be
Like it's what you're right. Anyway. Yeah. But at. Yeah, we laugh.
Then you start seeing stuff.
They're not wrong.
You want yellow pen changes.
Well, there's an update.
Sorry, it's noisy. It's noisy in court. This is everybody talking and everybody's being picked up. We've got court. We've got court officials. We've got some people in the gallery all at once. Cameraman.
That's good.
Got a question right now.
I can tell you one thing: the judge is not here yet.
If there's anything in the future. Yeah.
Well, he will.
I've updated. We've added the thumbnail. Looks great, by the way.
It does come from regular email paper. Yeah, no. Well, pretty good for today.
Let's see if we can listen to. Our feed. Need somebody to walk into frame briefly so I can sync these up.
In front of the Walmart. Job security.
Something's interfering, and I don't know. It is the big TV.
This is so noisy.
I don't know what's causing other to be and whatever.
I didn't hear on my phone.
Virginia, I just forgot to put it on this morning. It was just an oversight when I was getting ready.
I don't know that that's
Our technology department has a student.
But I don't.
I don't know what, nothing's different.
They're having tech issues. Rate the seal from 1 to 10.
Nothing in my
El
bag
Teddy?
that would be, there's nothing in my bag to cause it but paper.
It needs more color, I can tell you that.
Everything's closed. Oh, good. Alright, let's see what happens. Nope.
I object.
I object too.
We just did.
4, says Karen Step.
Something works. You know what, there's no conversation or noise on anything that I'm about to do, so we can just mute it. You know, there is sounds. See if muting it does it.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
So it wasn't me, it's just TV. Maybe it's just someone's magnetic personality.
Well, it's the he said it to you, right? He just said it must be you. I think he just said it to you. The guard downstairs said it to her.
Off, and then he warned me about the package, and it must be a magnetic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're synced up. There we go. That's all we needed. We just needed a head to come into frame briefly. All right, so we have, there's the logo for you. Zoom in, take a quick peek at that, take a gander. It's nice. It's nice. I like the laurel effect around the outside. I do like the ring, the seal of the state of New Hampshire. I think they should add great to it. The great state of New Hampshire, because New Hampshire is great. A throwback to history. The sun is a little bit blockish. And the pennants flying on the boat clearly show that the wind is blowing from the back, so I don't know why they're rowing. They could probably just use sails at this point. But hang on, we have a prank call coming in as we speak. Hello? Hello? They hung up. All right, it's now to the point now. All my son says to me is, "What trial are you watching now?" Delina Foster, that's great. 17 months. It's wonderful.
Yes. Any reason to see the judge before we get started?
I don't think so.
Was that a no from the
No.
defense also? Okay, got it. Thank you.
Are you guys all good?
That was the clerk coming out, seeing if they needed to do anything before they just get started.
Just so you know, this is gonna be the witness, but it will come up a little later.
Oh, they're whispering now, so we can't hear.
All right.
All rise.
Good afternoon. Please remain standing for the jury.
Ship's headed into a squall. Okay, 8 minutes late for the start. Not too bad. Other courts have been worse. I wouldn't be disappointed if I was the jury. I mean, this is expected. We'll bring the counter up. We had the train counter. I'm willing to switch to sidebars. If somebody would go through and tell me how many sidebars we've had, and I think it's 5. Can somebody let me know? This is a murder trial. The defendant there is charged with shooting his, girlfriend in the head. Dispute over finances led to a dispute over the kids, led to a physical fight over the kids. He took the daughter and shot the mom in the head. He says it was because she was trying to kidnap the kids. Ironically, when the Amber Alert went out, it was for him having the kids. He was going to turn himself in the next day. The police caught him before he got to the police station. He told his version of the story.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Please be seated.
In defense of others.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will call Trooper Amanda Johnson.
Trooper Amanda Johnson. Let's see where she's at.
Trooper Johnson, if you could remain standing and raise your right hand.
New
Thank you.
Hampshire State
Do you
Police.
swear today that the testimony you are about to give is the truth under penalties of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Witness number 3 in the trial. You can use that fan if you need it, ma'am.
Can you please state and spell your full name for the record?
I'm Detective Amanda Johnson. Last name is spelled Johnsson.
And where or how are you currently employed?
I'm employed as a detective with the New Hampshire State Police.
And with the New Hampshire State Police, are you assigned to any particular troop, barracks, or section?
Yes, I'm in the major crime unit.
Okay. What is the major crime unit?
Our primary job is to investigate homicides. We handle all officer-involved shootings throughout the state, as well as conflict cases that may arise that other agencies can't investigate.
So if there's a problem with the agency investigating, say, one of their own, you would maybe take that case?
Yes.
Okay. So in this instance, as a person in the major crime unit, what is your role specifically inside of investigations?
I primarily do crime scene investigation.
And what does that mean?
I respond to the crime scenes and process them for evidence.
And do you have any kind of specialized training that allows you to do this type of job?
I attended the National Forensics Academy back in 2023, 10-week program investigating or helping to investigate forensics and things of that nature.
And how long have you been working with the New Hampshire State Police?
I just started my 18th year this past August.
And for how long have you been specifically working on crime scene investigations?
I've been in the major crime unit since 2019.
Now, I want to draw your attention to February the 29th of 2024. Did there come a time that you became involved in an investigation into a homicide by shooting that had occurred at 1063 or 1063 Main Street in Berlin, New Hampshire?
Yes, I did. I believe that was an early morning call out.
Okay. Do you recall what time of day you received the call?
I think it was around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. When you say you received the call, were you working at the time?
No, I was off duty sleeping.
Okay. Can you describe for us how that call occurred?
I was called by Lieutenant John Sonia and advised that they had a homicide in the town of Berlin. He requested that I respond to the scene with the crime truck.
And when you say, were you assigned to a specific role for that crime scene?
That particular call, I was the officer in charge as well as the evidence technician, and I believe I took video that day.
Okay, and when you say you were the officer in charge, that sounds fancy. What does that mean?
It's just more paperwork. Basically, I delve out. We all kind of split the tasks, the required tasks, and at the end, it's just I'm compiling all of the reports basically into one report.
And you said that you were asked to respond out with the crime scene truck.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what that is?
We have 2 crime scene trucks. They're basically mobile offices that hold our supplies and equipment.
Okay. And when you received that call to respond out to Berlin, what information was provided to you about what you were walking into?
I knew that the suspect was at large, and they were primarily focusing on locating him as well as children.
Was that part of your responsibility with respect to this case?
No, I brought the truck to the scene where I stayed for a while they finished investigative aspects of the case and finally did receive a court-authorized search warrant.
Okay. So you spent some time waiting while other steps were taken before you were able to get into the house?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about your crime scene work. When you talk about working on a crime scene, can you describe for us sort of the methods or the steps that you use when you're documenting crime scenes?
Yes, like I said, we have various tasks that we have to complete there. We use a 3D scanner called a Faro that Faros the scene in 3D. One of us takes a GoPro video and walks around the crime scene with the video. One person's assigned to photographs. Another person's assigned to cataloging and documenting evidence that we collect. And it's, when we finally get in there, it's slow going because we essentially process the scene in layers. We take what's visible without disturbing anything, and then we start, peeling back the layers and documenting it as we go.
So when you initially arrive at a scene, you take it as it is, correct?
Yes.
You take photographs and videos of that?
Correct.
Okay. And then you said you started removing a layer.
Yes.
And when you remove each layer, what, if anything, do you do in terms of documentation?
So we photograph along as we search. When we move things and when we, search through things, like, for instance, if you opened a drawer, we would take a photo and search the contents of the drawer and then take another photo. So just things are done in layers.
So when you take photographs, are you just taking a photograph sort of the overall space, or are there different layers even of the photographs that you take?
Yeah, so overalls, far away and then mid-range and then close up is typically how we do the photographs.
Okay, are photographs taken in terms of when you arrive at a scene that has a person or a victim inside of it? Do you take photographs with the victim there as well as with them removed from the scene?
Yes, we take photographs as we come to the scene and how we find the scene and the body.
You indicated that some troopers or officers are tasked with locating evidence. Are photographs taken of that evidence as well?
Yes, we work as a team. We decide what we're going to collect, and as we go, we photograph and document what we're collecting.
Why so many photographs?
You can never take too many photographs. I've
Because
only
we can.
experienced situations where you wish you would have taken more, so I tell everyone to, take as many as you think you should and then go further and take more.
Do you document every scene that you respond to in the same manner?
Yes.
Was the crime scene at 1063 Main Street documented in this way by video, photograph, and Faro?
Yes.
Were photographs taken with Miss Navziger's body present?
Yes.
And were photographs taken when her body was removed?
Yes.
Now, I want to show you and place up on the screen State's Exhibit 3A, which is in evidence. It would help if I turn on this device. And I may need to ask you to step down if you're unable to see it, and I do apologize because you may spend quite some time hanging out over here by this screen, if that's all right with the court.
Yes, so long as the jury can hear and so long as we have appropriate audio and so long as it doesn't obstruct defendants at all, certainly.
Ooh, lots of qualifiers there.
You to sit down. It might be easier if you stand closer to the persuasion. And then, the court's permission, may I?
Please.
Just in case.
I'm fixing the commands
Now,
here. Just 1 second.
Trooper Johnson, is this the location, State's Exhibit 3A, which is on the screen, of 1603 Main Street?
Yes.
I'm sorry, 1063 Main Street.
Yes.
And is this the location where you responded with the crime scene truck?
Yes.
Can you describe what this building is for us?
This building is a apartment building. I was advised by the Berlin Police Department that there were 4 units total in that building.
By the time that you arrived on scene, had that dwelling already been cleared by the Berlin Police Department?
Yes, it had.
I'm not sure why the screen is flashing. It may have something to do with some interference for receiving, but
It's probably the cable.
it'll stay on. So you
Length of the
indicated
cable
that
too
it
long.
was a multi-unit dwelling, correct?
Yes.
Okay. With respect to the investigation that you were working, the call that you were there for, what areas of this building were of interest to you?
We were authorized to search Mr. Duren's apartment, which was the lower level apartment, the first floor.
I'm going to stop for a second. Just because it doesn't seem to be cutting out on any of the monitors, just that monitor. So maybe it's just a loose connection. I just didn't know if there's anything we can do.
Or it's the length of the cable.
We're getting some feedback on this, Your Honor, so I'm not certain if something is going wrong.
HDMI cables are only reliable up to about like 35 feet. Let's go to a fiber cable.
That seems to have worked. Thank you.
Fingers crossed. All right, so you started to say, and I apologize, you started to say that you were authorized to search certain locations in this building. What were those locations?
Mr. Duren's apartment, which is the lower first level of the building.
Did you also conduct any searches in the garage bay?
Yes, we did.
Speaking about that garage bay, can you see that on the screen?
Most of it, yes.
Okay. Was there a garage bay that you learned was assigned to that first floor apartment?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a car located in that garage bay?
No.
Were there any cars inside of any of the garage bays when you were on scene?
Yes, there were other tenants that had vehicles there.
Were those cars checked?
I recall that one tenant needed to get to her vehicle, so we escorted her to get the car, and we just performed a quick search by consent just to make sure we weren't missing anything.
Okay. In terms of the garage space, were any items of evidentiary value or recovered from that location?
Not that I recall, no.
Now, did you take video of the exterior of this building?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can you explain for us how you did that?
Utilizing a GoPro camera, I walked around outside and then walked inside slowly, just getting all the rooms in that apartment.
When you do that, you're just holding the GoPro camera in your hand?
Yes.
Okay. And are you talking, narrating? What can we expect
GoPro?
that we would hear?
No, no talking.
Oh my goodness. It's a great action camera.
Now, prior to this hearing, did you review, I should actually
Not a sponsor.
did you review
Got a lot
some
of them.
exhibits prior to coming into testifying?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you take a look at State's Exhibit 7A?
Yes, I did.
Is that a video clip that you took of the exterior of the building?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also review State's Exhibit 7B?
Yes.
Is that a clip of a video that you took from the interior of the building?
Yes.
At this time, the state would ask to have the ID struck and the keys as full. No objection.
It's not like
The
an
ID
accident.
excuse me,
body
the ID
camera.
may be stricken with respect to Exhibits 7A and 7B, and they may be considered as full exhibits.
It's an action camera, and
Now,
the
I'm
lens
gonna
is the
move off
problem.
of State's Exhibit 3A. On the screen now should be State's Exhibit 7A. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Permission to publish State 7A.
Yes.
Cameraman, can you find it? Find the picture somewhere for us? Oh, wait, this is the crime scene. Never mind. With the body and everything there.
And where this clip ends, what are we looking at?
That is the door, the entryway to a common area for the apartments. The white door.
And it goes into all of the apartments in this building, is that correct?
Yes.
Is there another entrance that just goes to apartment on the first floor?
Yes.
Where is that located?
Around the front of the house by the street.
Next, showing you is State's Exhibit 3C, which is in evidence, just so that we can transition over. Is this the same photograph or a photograph that shows the back of that house?
Yes.
Okay. And that white door at the back, is that the one you've indicated goes to a common area?
Yes.
Now, for the ease of this, Trooper Johnson, if I could ask you to step over towards me just really quickly. I can ask you to take a look through State's Exhibits 8A through 8T. I just need to separate them out so we've got the difference. I can have you just flip through these photographs for me. You can flip them in my direction as they're not, I think we have an agreement that they're coming into evidence, Your Honor.
Might accidentally see a crime scene photo here, so just be aware. Did they print these on like legal paper? This is wild. With cinnamon rolls, I'm pretty sure, on that picture.
And as you're doing this, Trooper Johnson, do you recognize what you're looking at?
Yes.
Can you tell us what they are?
photographs of the apartment as well as the evidence that we collected.
Do those photographs, as you look at them, fairly and accurately show the apartment as you observed it when you responded there?
Yes, it does.
Okay, if I can ask you to step back over. If you need a break or any water, just let me know. I'm making you stand up quite a bit. Now, with respect to, and Your Honor, at this time, the state would ask to strike the ID as to State's Exhibits 8A through 8T and admit them into evidence. No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to 8A through 8T inclusive, and they may be considered full exhibits.
Brady B, congratulations on 13 months. Thank you. It's a weird size of picture. I have to do the fact that it was extracted from a
I'm just showing
GoPro.
you State's Exhibit 8A. This is just a close-up of the rear door to 1063 Main Street that we've just seen.
Yes.
And in this image, the door is ajar.
Yes.
Okay, was it open like that when you responded?
Yes.
Where does this door lead again?
To a small common area utilized by all the tenants to access their apartments.
Moving into State's Exhibit 8B, what are we looking at here?
That straight ahead door is where the scene was.
And the straight ahead door is the door to where?
Duren's apartment.
Okay, to the defendant, Mr. Duren's apartment?
Yes.
You can go ahead and have a seat. I'm going to give you a break for just a second.
Witness gets a break for a bit. Nice. Allie B from Tennessee, member for 29 months. OG. If you just said there are cinnamon rolls on the picture, that made my day. Perhaps I misheard.
You
No,
indicated
that's what
when
I
you
said.
first began testifying that you had not immediately just jumped right in. You'd had to wait for quite some time.
Correct.
Okay. And why were you waiting?
Like I said, we were waiting for the investigators to try to figure out where the suspect was and locate the children, and then that shifted gears to writing a search warrant for the apartment.
Okay. Were you also waiting for somebody from the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
Did someone from the medical examiner's office arrive on scene?
Yes.
What, if anything, occurred once that happened?
When the medical examiner arrived on scene, she, under her authority, we entered the apartment to examine the body that was located in the living room.
And did you enter into the apartment to do that?
Yes.
Were you present personally with the ADME or the assistant or associate deputy medical examiner?
Yes.
To examine the body?
Yes.
Can you describe when you observed Ms. Nafziger's body, how she was positioned?
She was sitting on the couch. Her right leg was up on the coffee table, and she had a blanket around her body.
Did you, as well as the assistant deputy medical examiner, observe any injuries to Ms. Nafziger?
We saw wounds that were consistent with a gunshot wound to the head.
Did you observe any weapons near Ms. Nafziger?
No.
Did she have any property near her besides the blanket that you've just described?
She had a cell phone that was next to her on her right side on the couch.
At the time that you entered into the living room with the medical examiner's office, did you observe any evidence that was consistent with Ms. Nafziger having been shot in addition to her wound that you observed?
Yes. To my right of the couch, I noticed a fired cartridge casing on the floor next to the couch.
Can you tell us what a fired cartridge casing is? Can you explain that?
When a bullet's fired, the casing is what ejects from the pistol.
With respect to the first floor apartment, can you give us sort of an idea of what that apartment itself consisted of in terms of rooms? What was the layout?
Yes, there were It looked like there was 3 bedrooms, but they were using another room as like a 4th bedroom. 2 rooms were empty, utilized for what appeared to be storage. One of the rooms looked like a little girl's room, and then off of the living room there was a room that looked like it was utilized as the master bedroom.
Showing you State's Exhibit 22, do you recognize this?
Yes, this is the diagram of Mr. Duren's apartment.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of the layout of the apartment as you observed it?
Yes.
And the locations of where items were inside of the living room?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the ID and admit States 22 as full by agreement.
Yep, no objection.
The ID may be stricken and Exhibit 22 may be considered a full exhibit.
Putting up on the screen States Exhibit number 22.
I'll turn off the clock
I
for
don't
a
know if
bit.
you can do it from there. I'm going to do what I can to not have you just standing here for the entirety of your testimony. With respect to this exhibit as we look at it, can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where Ms. Nabziger was positioned? If you need to step down, please do.
She was, like I said, on the couch, and she had her right foot elevated on the coffee table.
When she's sitting on the couch, is she towards the desk on the couch, or is she on the other side of the room in terms of where she is?
More consistent with where you have the casing marked on that side of the couch.
Okay. So I just put up the red to show where Ms. Nabziger was located. Is that where she was fairly and accurately?
Yes.
Okay. And
Doesn't seem like a threatening position.
Again, for the jury to see, there's a casing that's marked there. Is that all consistent with where you observed the body of Ms. Nabziger on the sofa or the couch?
Yes.
And then where the casing was observed?
Yes.
After the assistant medical examiner examined the body of Ms. Nabziger, what, if anything, occurred?
I believe that we left the body there so that we could farrow with the body in place, just because if I come to a scene and the body has not moved by first responders and it's located in the original spot, I like to document and preserve that. So I believe we farrowed that room and then we removed the body.
Farrow, did you also take photographs?
Yes.
And then the body was removed?
Yes.
And was the scene still secured at that point pending the search warrant?
Yes. The Berlin Police Department provided scene security that day.
What does it mean to provide or scene security or secure a scene?
Usually we corded off with crime scene tape, and we'll have at least 1 or 2 cruisers standing by and making sure that no one unauthorized enters through the crime scene.
In fact, prior to having a search warrant, does anyone enter into it except to deal with the body?
No, just with the medical examiner.
Later that afternoon, around 1:40 p.m., did you receive authorization through a search and seizure warrant to enter into the home to conduct your examination of the scene?
Yes.
And at that point, is that when you started the process that you described to us before about photographing in layers?
Yes.
I think we're gonna have to ask you to step down. Absolutely. Putting State's Exhibit 8C, which is in evidence on the screen, can you describe for us where we are or where this photograph was taken inside of the apartment?
That's as you walk in that entryway door in the rear.
And when you look at this, it's sort of a hallway, is that fair to say?
Yes,
Do you know where the doors on either side of that hallway lead?
those are the spare bedrooms that, like I said, it appeared to be utilized as storage.
And straight ahead,
Straight ahead leads into the kitchen.
you continue to walk down that hallway and end up in the kitchen. What do you have on your right-hand side?
The right-hand side is the living room and master bedroom area.
And to the left?
That was the little girl's room.
I want to look first with you, if we can, at State's Exhibit 8D. Which room is this?
This is the spare bedroom to the right when you're walking down that hallway immediately upon entering the apartment.
And is this one of the rooms that you indicated was pretty much used as storage?
Yes.
Okay. Now, zooming in a little bit closer into State's Exhibit 8D, were evidence recovered or items recovered of interest in this case in the closet?
Yes.
Showing you State's Exhibit 8F, what are we seeing in this image?
ALJ2 looks like a box of ammunition, and ALJ3 looks like a holster, a gun holster.
Can you explain for us, so you're reading the yellow markers, is that fair to say?
Yes.
What do those yellow markers signify?
It's just how we document evidence that we're taking. Whoever's the evidence technician that day, we utilize our initials. I'm Amanda Lee Johnson, so ALJ, and as we go, we assign each piece of evidence a number.
Do the numbers have any meaning about importance or anything like that?
No,
And what do the numbers stand for?
it's just the number of the next item. So from there, the next item would be 4.
I want to go ahead and take a look with you at the items that you're looking at on that top shelf and the items that were marked. Looking first at State's Exhibits 8G and 8H together on this slide. What is ALJ2 that you have marked?
A box of ammunition.
Amazon Web Services.
Looking
It
next
runs most
at
things on the
State's
internet.
Exhibit 8I, which is in evidence, and your marker is, I believe, ALJ3. What are we looking at?
That's a shoulder holster with a magazine pouch.
When you say a magazine pouch, can you explain that for us?
You would put the magazines from a pistol in the pouch.
Next, looking on one slide at State's Exhibits 8J and 8A, what are we looking at in terms of ALJ3A?
So that's one of the magazines that was in the pouch, and that was the contents in the magazine, the ammunition.
So it was a loaded magazine.
Yes.
With respect to State's Exhibits 8L and 8M together on this slide, ALJ3B, what are we looking at?
That was the other magazine in the pouch.
And so both 3A and 3B came from the holster that was recovered.
Correct.
And with respect to this, was this also a loaded magazine?
Yes, with those bullets in it.
Were you able to determine the type of ammunition that this was?
Yes, I believe they're all 9mm.
Now, once these items that we've just looked at are recovered and photographed on the scene, are they recovered?
Yes, we photograph them and we package them and secure them on the crime scene truck and later transfer it to the forensic lab.
Can you explain to us how they're packaged, what that process looks like?
We primarily use paper bags, but we put the item in a bag and we secure the bag with evidence tape so that it can't be tampered with and it's secured.
And do you sign those bags?
Yes, we initial along the seams to secure that chain of custody, essentially.
Now, in your search of the apartment, did you locate or recover a pistol or a handgun?
No.
Showing you next State's Exhibit 8N coming back into the hallway of the apartment, can you kind of orient us back to where we are?
Yes, you're standing in the hallway and the door to the left was the other room, spare room that was utilized for storage.
With respect to the bedroom, which is the storage room, the first open door to the left in this photograph, was anything of evidentiary value marked and collected from there?
I don't recall from that room, no.
How about in the bathroom, the second open door on the left of the photo? Was there anything of evidentiary value marked or recovered?
Not that I recall.
Now I want to move further into the apartment. States Exhibit 8O. Can you orient us sort of here? And I know you've described sort of to the right and the left of the kitchen. Can you just let us know where we're looking here?
Yes, so the opening to the right is towards the living room, and then the left side by the cabinet, there's a door here that belongs to the little girl, bedroom belonging to the little girl.
And the kitchen also continues off to the right, is that, or the left, I'm sorry, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Showing you States Exhibit 8P. What are we looking at here?
That's just the other side of the kitchen.
Did you search the trash can that's over there?
Yes.
Why?
We conduct a complete search when we process the scene to include trash cans.
Was it when anything recovered from the trash can?
Yeah, I believe we recovered a receipt from the trash.
Showing you States Exhibit 8Q. Is that the receipt that you're discussing or saying that you recovered?
Yes.
Moving on to States Exhibit 8R. With respect to this item, is that the receipt from the trash can?
Yes, it is.
I want to ask you if you can read for us the highlighted portions of that.
Yes, it's a receipt from Harley Jack's Burgers and Brews in Ossipee, and it has a date of February 28th, 2024 at 4:46 p.m. The server's name was Christine K. The check number was number 14, and it says that it was ordered February 28th, 2024 at 4:46.
At 4:46 p.m.
Correct.
Moving into States Exhibit 8S like Sam. Can you describe where we're looking in this image?
You're standing in the kitchen looking into the living room.
So that doorway that's open there, that's the living room where Miss Nassiter's body was found? Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Now, earlier you had talked about the fact, and we had seen the video that you took of the outside of the house, right? And we watched that small clip. Did you take a similar video of the interior of this apartment?
Yes.
Can you describe for us what you did in taking that video in its entirety?
Like I said, you walk into the apartment and you walk through all the rooms at a slow pace, just trying to document what's in each room.
You open all the drawers, look inside of everything?
Sometimes, like I said, we do it in layers, so you don't want to disturb too much. Normally when we first get there, we want to document the scene as it is without manipulating it.
When you took the video of the interior of this house, had Miss Nassiter's body already been removed?
No. Or it may have been. I know that we farrowed with the body in there. I may have taken the video after the body was removed. I'm not 100% positive on that.
Okay, so I'm going to move forward so that you can see Exhibit 8T like Tom. At the time that this photo is Miss Nassiter's body there?
She had been removed at that point.
Moving forward to States Exhibit 7B, which is a clip from that video that is in evidence. Looking at this image here, was Miss Nassiter's body present at the time of the video or removed?
She was removed at that time.
Okay, so we should not in this video expect that we will see.
Correct.
Permission to publish.
Yes.
All right. Cameraman still hasn't found a place for us to see this. Amazon Web Service is basically a computer center that hosts a lot of different programs and servers for other companies. So you could have them own the computer that runs the software your company uses. The problem is if their system goes down, your software goes down. It's been very reliable up till about now. Not many outages. This is a major one. A lot of, believe it or not, a lot of iPhone games are run on Amazon Web Services. If the game gets popular, it's very easy to scale up by just adding more servers on the Amazon website. That's one of the appeals of AWS. Duolingo's been down all morning. Yep. It was all fun and games till AWS is down. Sounds like they've got it fixed, but it'll be a while. Some of the sites that have problems are running on like partial load. So some of the traffic's getting through and some is not.
Well, this flip stops there. Did you also walk into that master bedroom area?
Yes.
I know. Looking at this where it's stopped, there appears to be a door that we're seeing. What door is that?
It was almost like there were French doors or double doors that opened into what was utilized as a master bedroom.
And then there's a marker on your screen. This white door that's here that I'm marking, what door is that?
That's the front door to the residence.
When you were on scene, what was the condition of that front door?
It was locked with a deadbolt.
Was the doorknob also locked?
I don't recall specifically. I just know that I remember that it was deadbolted and locked.
For Johnson, I'm going to show you two images. This is 7C and 7D. This fairly accurately shows still images from the video you watched.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the IDS to States Exhibit 7C and D and admit permissible. No objection.
The ID may be stricken and the Exhibit 7C and Exhibit 7D shall be considered as full exhibits.
Putting up on the screen States Exhibit 7C, can you orient us to what we see inside of the living room?
Yeah, so you're standing in the master bedroom and you're looking through the doors into the living room.
And is this the layout of the living room as it was observed on that date?
Like I said, the body had obviously been removed, so things might have been disturbed when we moved the body.
I know you've described the area and where the body was positioned, the staff's was positioned. Can you give us a general idea of where we would expect to see her? Were she in this image?
She was positioned, if you see this pink blanket on the couch, that was wrapped around her, and she was seated here with her right leg up on the coffee table, as if she was relaxing on the couch.
As if she was relaxing. Doesn't seem like a struggle at all.
On the floor in States Exhibit 7C by the coffee table, is that where it was originally located?
That may have been displaced during the removal when we removed the body.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves to strike the ID from States Exhibits 9A through 9J.
No objection. The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibits 9A through 9J inclusive, and they may be considered as full exhibits.
Can I have one of them?
Sure.
Here, Johnson, facing onto the screen, States Exhibit. Well, actually, let me ask you a few questions first. With respect to States Exhibits, or the next photographs, are Miss Nassiter's body visible in the next couple of images that we're about to show?
Yes.
Can you describe for us when we see her, and I'm happy to have you take a look if you want to describe it from States Exhibits. So you don't have to do it from memory. Yes, you might be. Take a look. Yes, you just to direct them.
Yep.
Can you describe for us what we should expect to see?
Yes, you can see the victim on the couch with the pink blanket on her. That red blanket that is on the floor in 7C was in fact to her left with her left arm resting on it. And her right leg is elevated and resting on the coffee table.
Missing onto the screen screens to the 9A. Does this image represent the positioning of Miss Nafziger as she was when the body was located?
Yes, that's the original location that we found her in.
And you've already described that the blanket, that the pink blanket is over her shoulder. She has another blanket next to her and her foot on the coffee table.
Yes, and a purple pillow behind it.
From what you observed, is Miss Nafziger wearing any shoes on her feet?
No,
Were any shoes for an adult located near her in the living room?
I believe they were just children's slippers and children's shoes.
You had described a cell phone wallet case. Can you point that out to us?
Yes.
Behind that cell phone wallet case, what's that on the couch?
A pair of eyeglasses.
Now, behind Miss Nafziger, almost at, I would say, the center of the photograph, there appears to be a white mark on the shelf of that built-in bookshelf. Can you describe for us what that white mark is?
Let me just make sure I'm pointing at the right thing. This mark right here. That's a built-in wooden shelf, and we located what appeared to be consistent with a defect from.
And when you say a defect, what do you mean?
That's just the terminology that we use for,
that's where the bullet
for lack
went.
of better terms, entryway of a bullet.
And moving closer, and States Exhibit 9B, we also have the imagery of Miss Nafziger on the scene. From this angle, can you still see where that bullet defect is?
Yes, right here.
And just one more, States Exhibit 9C, moving in closer to Miss Nafziger. Can you please describe for us what we see here?
What is consistent with a gunshot wound to the head.
Miss Nafziger's clothing, first of all, that pink blanket is no longer over her shoulder. Was that moved by officers during the scene?
Yes, we moved on to like the next layer of documenting, and we would move the blanket off of her to photograph.
And once the blanket was removed, what is Miss Nafziger wearing for clothing?
She looks like she has a black sweater on, a purple shirt, and it looks like a scarf around her neck.
Please Exhibit 9D, what are we looking at here?
That's a photo of the couch after we removed the body of the victim.
Now, with respect to the glasses that were on the sofa, on the couch, what happened to those, if you know?
I believe that we collected those as evidence.
Would they have been transported with the body?
I can't recall specifically if we made them a separate exhibit or put the glasses in the bag with the body. I can't recall specifically, but I know we collected them.
Moving to States Exhibit 9B, we've got a yellow marker here. Can you explain for us what we're looking at?
That's the evidence marker to mark the cell phone that's on the couch.
And just, you've done close-ups and overalls of all of these pieces of evidence. Is that fair to say?
I didn't personally take the photos. I don't believe I did, but yes, we documented.
Oh, she didn't take the photos?
So moving into States Exhibits 9F and 9G, what are we looking at?
It's a cell phone that's contained within a wallet case.
Were the contents of that wallet case used to identify Miss Nafziger on scene?
Yes.
And what was used specifically?
Driver's license.
I want to back up so that we can take a look at the couch as a whole. looking at State's Exhibit 9H, is this just a full view of the couch or the sofa as it was inside of the living room?
Yes.
Now, when we watched that video walkthrough that you did, State's Exhibit 7B, you sort of got very close to the sofa. Is there a reason why you did that?
Just documenting close-up shots of the evidence.
Was there anything on the sofa itself that you were documenting specifically?
I recall doing close-ups on the left side of the couch, around here, that I located a couple of pieces, what appeared to be consistent with the skull.
So moving to State's Exhibit 7D, there are 2 items circled there. Can you explain for us what we're seeing?
That's what I noticed, and it consistent with skull.
So consistent with bone pieces?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Looking at State's Exhibit 9, we're back on I. Does this image accurately show the placement of the coffee table as it was in line with the sofa?
Yes.
And this is obviously after Miss Nasser's been removed.
Yes.
And that red blanket is positioned there from its original position, correct?
Yeah, it's displaced from its original position.
Now, you had discussed that when you looked at this living room, when you entered into it initially, and then when you were conducting your search for evidence, that you had observed casing inside of this location.
I need some background noise.
Can you orient us to where we would be looking if we wanted to find where that casing was?
Yes, the casing was behind this chair on the floor, so that's the right side of the couch.
Now, I want to take a look at the rest of the living room. So this photograph States Exhibit 9J. Does that accurately show the living room as it would be viewed from the sofa or the couch?
Yes, it does.
In terms of this desk, what kinds of items were associated with the desk?
It appeared to be a computer desk, but we noted that the tower, the actual computer itself, was missing and unplugged.
He took his computer with him.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to
And it's not a laptop.
from States Exhibits 10A through 10D and have them admitted as evidence.
No objection.
The ID may be stricken with respect to 10A through 10D inclusive, and they shall be considered as full exhibits.
Trooper Johnson, I want to go back to that little chair where you said there was a casing. So looking at States Exhibit 10A, which should be on the screen now, can you sort of orient us to where the casing was found?
The casing's on the floor behind the child's, looks like a unicorn, on the chair, right behind here.
And if I look at this image, there's a door frame that's right here where I'm illuminating in the corner of the photo. Where does that door go?
That goes to the kitchen.
And in terms of any other access point to leave this living room, where would those be located?
You could go forward, straight ahead to the master bedroom, and the front door is there.
Okay, so if I'm standing like the photo is taken, where would the doors to the master bedroom be?
To your back, behind you.
Okay, and the front entrance of the home would also be to my back and behind me?
Correct.
Okay, and the kitchen would be through this doorway here that I have marked to the right?
Correct, to the right.
You had indicated earlier that the shoes you remembered seeing were slippers for kids. Do you see those in this image?
Yes, they're under the pink table.
Showing you next, States Exhibit 10B. I think it's a little fuzzy there in the background, but can you identify what this marker, the yellow marker is that I've got illuminated?
Yeah, the ALJ5 marker is next to the casing.
Moving it a little bit closer on that, States Exhibit 10C. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That's the fired cartridge casing.
And States Exhibit 10D.
That's the casing, just flipped over to read the head stamp.
What's a head stamp?
The writing on the back of the casing.
And what does that tell you?
It usually tells you a brand.
Is it Federal?
And caliber.
Were you able to determine the brand or the caliber from this?
It was a 9mm, and I believe it says S&B on the casing.
Is that consistent with other ammunition that was found inside of the house?
Yes.
Break into this afterwards, okay, so you can have a seat. No, not yet, I apologize. I misspoke.
Gonna be a break after
We're
these.
gonna do a couple more. At this time, Your Honor, the state would move to strike the ID from state's exhibits 11A through and including 11O and have them marked as full. No objection.
The identification may be stricken with respect to 11A through 11O inclusive, and they shall be considered as full exhibits.
Now, after the casing was recovered, you had started to indicate about that bullet defect that was in the built-in bookshelf.
Yes.
With respect to that bullet defect, was a bullet eventually recovered?
Yes, we recovered a projectile.
Okay. So a projectile, not a bullet. I apologize.
It's okay, same thing.
Can you explain the difference?
It's just the technical term for it that we utilize.
I want to go ahead and move into State's Exhibits 11A and 11B here. Can you describe for us, so 11A, fair to say, is the sofa as it was after Ms. Nafziger, as well as all the blankets and everything else were removed?
Correct, yes.
With respect to State's Exhibit 11B, can you explain to us what that yellow marker is for?
I'd have to look at my actual evidence report. I'm not sure if that is a swab or if it's a piece of skull or hair. I'd have to refresh my memory with the DSSP 20.
Would looking at the report refresh your recollection?
Yes.
This prosecutor is doing a good job not asking leading questions, admitting evidence methodically.
For identification purposes only at State's Exhibit
But there are a lot of pictures here.
106 to 108 for the record. Can you take a look at that item?
Yes.
Is that the copy of the report that you just referenced, your DSSP?
This isn't the DSSP 20, but it is part of my evidence signification report. It lists.
If you can take a look and see if that would refresh your recollection.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Based on this, your review of the report, what is that marker for?
That is for swabs of the reddish brown stain on the couch.
Thank you. If you want to just put that right there. Moving next to State's Exhibit 11C, can you describe to us, and specifically, I want to ask you about this area of the sofa, and I'm not sure now my device isn't. I can just have one moment.
Some technical issues there. There's a mosquito in my office and it's biting my leg. I can't find it.
So looking at State's Exhibit 11C, specifically I want to draw your attention to that white mark, the damage to the drawer. You've described that as a bullet entry.
Yes.
Okay. What else in this image, did you recover anything else from this area of the built-in bookshelf?
To the left of the defect by the knob, there's a clump of hair.
Moving a little bit closer into that 11D, there's a marker ALJ7. Is that referencing the hair that you're describing?
Yes.
Okay. Gonna look a little bit closer. I think that's a little hard to see. So if we can move into State's Exhibit 11F, like Frank, what are we looking at here?
That's a close-up of the hair around the built-in.
And that hair was recovered?
Yes.
Moving to State's Exhibit 11G, can you describe for us the changes that we're seeing to sort of the room and what process is happening here?
So like I said before, we conduct searches in layers. So at this particular point in the documentation, we slid the couch out from the built-in, so we had access to be able to see behind the couch.
And once you had access to see behind the couch, what, if anything, did you do?
We were then able to open the drawers of the built-in.
Now, moving into State's
It's easier for me to
Exhibit
focus, so I have the
11
TikTok in the
and
background.
can you explain to us or
I can
describe
turn it
to us
off,
what
though.
these white stickers represent?
They're just scale, like L-shaped stickers with scales that we utilize to mark defects.
And with respect to this defect, it looks like there's an A written on that scale.
Yes, that indicates that's the first defect that I'm noting.
Are there multiple defects associated with this recovered bullet?
Yes.
Projectile?
Yes.
Moving to State's Exhibit 11J, what do we see here?
That's just the first drawer. Pulled out a photo of it.
And that's the drawer that the first defect was in?
Correct, defect A.
Was the bullet recovered from this top drawer?
No.
Where was it recovered?
I believe it was the third drawer down.
So were there additional defects that you were able to identify and mark?
Yes.
Looking at State's Exhibit 11K, can you explain to us what we're looking at?
Yes, so that's a photo of inside the drawer. So A1 would be the exit from the front of the drawer, and then 2A is a re-entry of the bullet as its flight path continues.
And then using this next one, State's Exhibit 11L, what is this?
That is another defect. A3.
So A3 is a third bullet defect associated with the same bullet or projectile? Right.
Yes.
And where in relation to the first drawer, if you know, is A3?
I'm not actually sure based on this photo, if this is the second, it should be the second drawer, but I'm not positive with just this photo.
The bullet was, or the projectile, I apologize, was recovered in the third drawer down.
As I recall, yes.
Showing you State's Exhibit 11 and what are we seeing here?
That's a photo of the third drawer opened with what is the projectile in the drawer.
Once this item was photographed, what, if anything, did you do to recover it?
We packaged it and secured it and transported it to the forensic lab.
And just moving a little bit closer so we can see what that item clearly was, 11N. Can you describe for us the projectile?
It's a projectile.
And that's as it was recovered inside of the drawer,
Yes,
marked as ALJ8.
correct.
Thank you. Trooper Johnson, you can go ahead and proceed.
So now she can go back to the witness stand so we can actually see her answer the questions, which is a little easier to follow along instead of explaining facing the jury there in front of the picture on the TV. Did go through the victim and through the furniture. That'll give us a trajectory, and it might give us a problem
Go ahead and give you a minute. I just
Okay.
if it doesn't fit with
Getting
the
a little
story we
raspy.
were told.
All right. Trooper Johnson, you had indicated that, I'll try to be loud from over here. You had indicated that
You had recovered the casing and recovered the projectile, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can you describe for us the process of that recovery?
We photograph it and collect it and put it in the appropriate evidence receptacle, I guess, based on size and what it is.
And I'm going to ask you, I've provided some gloves in case you do need them, but I'm going to ask you to take a look at what I have marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 28. Can you take a look at that item and let me know if you know what it is?
I believe that this belongs to the casing.
Okay. Does that have a number on it consistent with the recovered item number?
I'd have to look at my report, but it says ALJ 5 on it.
Why does she not have a report? She needs the report.
Showing you again what's marked for identification only as State's Exhibit number 30. Would this assist you in identifying what that item is?
Yes. ALJ 5 is a casing S&B 9x19 21.
Was that the casing that was recovered from the floor in the first floor apartment next to the sofa?
Yes, it was.
Okay, the one behind the unicorn chair?
Yes.
Okay. If I could ask you to go ahead and take a look, open that envelope up for us.
I just had to order fake blood through eBay because Amazon is not working properly. Smalls. ASMR. Oh, right through the package. Cuts the top clean off.
The casing.
In taking a look at that item, does it appear to be in the same or substantially the same condition as it was in when you recovered it?
Yes.
Remember, at this time, State requests that the ID be struck and State's Exhibit 28 be admitted.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 28, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
You put it back in there.
I needed it to be UV
I
reactive.
figure we'll go with both items if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead next and show you what I've marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 29 for this case. And looking at that item, do you recognize what it is?
Yes, this should be the projectile.
Okay. Does that match in terms of the documentation on the envelope, your signature on the seal, and the assigned evidence number?
Yes.
I'd ask you to go ahead and open that up.
Looks like a projectile.
You can see the item that's inside of that container?
Yes, I can.
Okay. In looking at it, what is it?
That's the projectile recovered from the drawer.
And is it in the same or substantially the same condition as it was in when it was recovered by you?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the State would request to strike the ID from State's Exhibit 29 and have the item admitted as full. No.
The ID may be stricken with respect to Exhibit 29, and it shall be considered a full exhibit.
With the court's permission, I would ask Trooper Johnson to step down and allow the jury to observe the items.
Certainly.
All right, she's going to show them some very small items that are about the size of a dime. One would be the casing of the 9mm bullet. That's the brass part that gets ejected from the gun when it's fired. The other is the bullet, the tip part that gets propelled out the end of the barrel when the primer is struck. And that's the one that killed the victim, as well as went through the furniture where they eventually found it and were able to dig it out of the furniture.
Trooper Johnson, you may have to walk up and down since they're such small items. If you could just walk up and down, allow the jurors to see those items.
This is ALJ 5, which is the casing that was recovered. There's books in the back where you look at.
I apologize. Absolutely. You can show them the next item, see it's 29.
This is ALJ 8, which is the projectile that was recovered in the drawer. We typically
The witness is walking up and down the chairs of the jury, showing each member because they're so small. We can't see that because that would show the jury.
I have no further questions at this time.
All right, defense gets to take over if they have any. Not sure if they will have much.
Attorney Kinney? Attorney
Good
Kinney?
Good
Attorney Kinney?
afternoon.
Oh, sorry.
Approach.
Oh, another sidebar. We're going to count it. Takes us up to 6. Trial seems to be moving slow. Is it just me? This is the portion of the trial that is a little slower. Don't you have a Spirit Halloween 10 miles away? I know they have fake blood, but I need UV reactive fake blood, which is much more rare. I need it to glow under ultraviolet light.
Incident that occurred in February 2024, you were not there for the incident itself, correct?
No.
So you did not see what happened,
Correct.
You didn't see what Ayden was doing, right?
Correct.
You didn't see what a child was doing, right?
Correct.
You didn't see what the defendant Dustin was doing.
Correct.
You didn't hear what Caitlin said, right?
Correct.
They call him Lieutenant Dustin.
Hear what Dustin said, correct?
Yes.
You don't have any idea what actually happened that night.
Correct.
No more questions, thank you.
Not much for this witness since it's mostly just factual. So
You redirect?
No questions.
Okay. Can Trooper
She's
Johnson
already-
be excused?
She's already left.
Yeah.
She's halfway out of the
Okay.
courtroom. That was funny. All right, witness number 4.
And again, please.
Another sidebar. Go sidebar number 7. I think we're probably going to take an maybe an afternoon break. Judge needs a smoke break, maybe. Maybe add a fine white mica powder to the fake blood. Does mica fluoresce under UV light? I think it does. Amazon sells it. Amazon couldn't take my order. I tried to buy it on Amazon, but they kept getting errors getting it added to the cart. Even though it said they had it available, the quantity was wrong. I need it to be washable and red. The frosting and stuff. That stains. Take the middle part out of a highlighter and put it in water. It'll be UV reactive also.
Hey, members of the jury, we're going to conclude there for the day.
Ooh.
I know that
Why?
some days we may go all the way till 4 o'clock, but we are going to conclude there for today. I just conferred with counsel. We'll be ready to start at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. As I've said all along, please do not discuss any aspect of the case or the evidence with your fellow jurors, including if you see any jurors discussing the case. I would ask that you please report that to a court security officer or bailiff. I want to state that I recognize that some of the photos may be difficult to look at. I encourage you, regardless of that, again, do not discuss any aspect of the evidence or any part of the case with any of the fellow jurors during any of the breaks or even during the process of the trial itself. Again, as I've said, there is some media coverage with respect to this matter. I encourage you to I instruct you to not only avoid such media coverage, but to try to do everything you can to avoid even inadvertent exposure to that. And again, please conduct no research whatsoever yourself about any matter that you hear about in this case, or any of the witnesses or any of the evidence. Please conduct no research whatsoever. And again, I'm sure you will follow my instructions to make sure that this is a fair and a trial that consists with the law on such matters. Okay, so we'll start at 9 o'clock. That's it for the day. Thank you very much. By the way, that wasn't an air exchange. I do think that was some much needed rain that we heard on the rooftop. So anyway, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your service. We'll reconvene at 9 o'clock tomorrow. All rise for the jury.
Air exchange. Let's see if there's anything that they need to sort out once the jury is out of the room. Ended early for the day. Like at least 2 hours early.
Okay, thank you. Please be seated. And council, about a 10-minute break and we can reconvene to discuss some matters. Is that okay? Okay, all right.
Okay, so they are not done. They've got a 10-minute break and then we're going to be back. So judge leaves, we're going to listen in. Ketchup stains. I need it not to stain. That's the whole thing. The jury's done for the day, but apparently there's some issues that need to be worked out still. Possibly regarding upcoming witnesses, possibly regarding schedule. Maybe they're talking about jury instructions already. I don't know. We'll sit around here and just see what happens when the judge comes back in about 9 minutes. Looks like the steel sticker is about to peel off. I think what it is it's slightly curved, or there's a reflection of a light on the surface. It's quiet right now, but I imagine the courtroom's going to get a little louder as the judge is gone for longer and longer. People get more boisterous. Jury did leave for the day. But we're not done. We've got something to discuss with the judge. Maybe it's a plea. This is not going well. Not going well for the defense. Maybe it's a plea. Could be. The seal is crooked. I think the boat... Well, let's look. The seal is crooked. Just a tiny bit. Ship is sailing up the hill. Look at the horizon, though. The horizon is what matters. It does appear just like 1 degree off. A teeny bit off kilter. I think what's going to become crucial in this trial is the wording of the law in North Carolina. Sorry, not North Carolina, New Hampshire. I said that, I'm like, that's not right. I had to look at the seal. New Hampshire. If the state has to prove that this was not in defense of others, it may be difficult. Because the only evidence they have is his evidence. And they can say, well, I just don't believe him. But that's difficult. I'm in North Carolina, sorry. Seal has all kinds of wrong. I no longer approve of the font used for the outer ring. I realize this state was founded in 1776 when our country was, right? Long time ago. But there's been a lot of new fonts developed. We should now and then. You should update. It's wonky. They spend a lot of time designing the boat and the flag, but the laurel around the outside looks like half-hearted. And the sun and back looks funny. There's a squeak. One more. I think that's the door. They tried to update the seal and the flag, and it was voted down. It was made in 1776. It's the best they had back there. Hand drawn on parchment. Why does it look like it has a dent in it? They may have dropped it.
Make sure it goes for both of us, sorry, both of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Just use your mute button.
Yes, yes.
John says the wording won't matter. It was clearly not. Turn off the noise a little bit. It was clearly not in defense of others, and deadly force was clearly not needed. He was a Marine against an unarmed woman. Mo in the deep end, and your viewers, welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for rating us. Laura Lou Liz, this is a tough case. I'd say it's tough for defense because we basically heard a description of the victim wrapped in a blanket with her feet up on the couch and the coffee table and shot once in the head. The defendant describes this as a, let me turn off the mic, the sound of the courtroom. The defendant describes this as an argument over a child. They were literally fighting over a child. Tug of war back and forth. But here she is wrapped in a blanket, shoes off, feet up on the coffee table when she's found dead. That's going to be tough. I think the other thing is going to be telling. We haven't been able to see it as the jury has, but the bullet, once it traveled through the victim's head, dislodging some pieces of skull at the same time, also traveled through furniture, through a piece of furniture multiple times, multiple layers. So there's a clear trajectory of the bullet we have that will help us piece together where the victim was sitting. And the way it sounds so far to me, it sounds more like she was caught completely off guard and surprised, not expecting this at all. All right, live free or die. That's the motto for New Hampshire, right? Live free or die. North Carolina has a good seal. The dentist because it's old. Mo in the deep, welcome. I've already ordered it, Camilla. Thanks. I was able to order my UV reactive chalk because I'm running out of that. It can't just be normal sidewalk chalk because it won't glow. It has to be a special UV reactive chalk. So I ordered 12 more sticks of that on Amazon. From New Jersey, and I'm jealous of the motto. I want it. Live free or die. All right. right. Any minute now, the judge should be back. It's been about 8 minutes. He said 10, and we would be back to sort out some issues. It shouldn't take too long. Is that ship being built? Is that the picture I'm seeing? It's on land, and they're building it, I think. Maybe they just beached it, and they're scraping the barnacles off. You know how you have to sort of like beach your vessel once in a while and scrape the barnacles out? That would be your YouTube. Refresh your YouTube and it'll fix it. Wisconsin state motto is forward. The motto here in North Carolina is to be rather than to seem. I'm sure it is deep, but I still have no idea what it means. Are you going to live stream or take pictures of your house with all the decorations we can enjoy? Live stream. We're going to live stream trick-or-treating. It better not rain or else I'll be stuck with about 1,000 bags of candy. 50 pounds of candy is what we have. 50 pounds of candy to give away. Let's see. Someone said the first ship in Portsmouth was called the Raleigh. Yes, well, Raleigh is named after the early explorer. Yes, 50 pounds. That's 50 pounds. I am single-handedly going to increase the number of cavities in my county. Dentists all over will have a lifetime of work because of me. We will have one trunk or treat. We'll give some of it away this Saturday. And then the rest is going to be Halloween. And I'll probably get nervous and go buy more candy just in case. I know the New Hampshire motto from Breaking Bad. That's where Walter White went to hide out and die. Not expecting more than 50. We had over 600 last year. And that was without really doing much in the way of decorations. So with lights and decorations, I think we will have more trick-or-treaters this year. I put a timer on, but don't know why. I would check the oven, Camilla, the stove. Check the oven and the stove first. Then check the laundry. If it wasn't those things, it's probably not that important. It was the laundry? Yes. Glad I could help. Thank you. The kids are going to love the decorations and candy bags. They're going to leave and then come back numerous times. I'm afraid they will. That's why I didn't get the full-size candy bars. Because if you do that, it's just like a revolving door. They just walk around, come back, and come back, and come back. But luckily, I have a very good memory for costumes. And if I see somebody come back again, I'll just call the police and have them trespassed. No, just kidding. Not like that. I'll call them out on it. Like, have you already eaten your other one? I recognize them. My theme is Stranger Things this year, so all my candy's related to the show. Also, Dum-Dums are a thing. I bought 500 Dum-Dums. That was one of the last additions to it. Allie B. from Tennessee, do kids still use pillowcases to trick-or-treat? Not as much as they should. And why I say that for a couple reasons. Pillowcases for trick-or-treat are very effective for a number of reasons. They're very durable. The bag won't break. They're easy to hold. They carry a lot. And here's the added bonus for the kid. This is why you should do it as a kid. It looks like you have a little when you actually have a lot because it's a big pillowcase and there's only a little bit of candy at the bottom. People feel sorry for you and give you extra candy when your bag's mostly empty.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Back on the record, 214-2024 CR 28. Just a few housekeeping matters. State's filed a motion to reconsider. Can I expect an objection from defense?
On what?
Judge, we're prepared to argue it now. It doesn't state any issues of fact or law that the court overlooked. It simply reiterates and reinterprets the transcript differently from how the court interprets it. But I don't think that's a basis for the court to reconsider its decision. I think that the case originally cited by the state, Commonwealth versus Castano, talks about that evidence can be admissible if there can be inferences made that the evidence was somehow known to the defendant in some capacity. And in Castano, the inferences include the defendant being aware of the victim's desire to end the relationship because she obtained a roommate release form from her landlord, so completely separate from the defendant, and because there was a suitcase on the floor. And here, as the courts noted, there's numerous references to Mr. Duren asking, what is the plan? What is the plan? What's going on? To Ms. Nafsker telling him some portion of the plan. I'm going to take the kids, take them back to Minnesota without your permission. And so I think that there's far more than enough evidence for the court to find that it's admissible for that purpose. And the court has made that finding. The state has not said anything new. It simply interprets the evidence differently. And a different interpretation of the evidence is not grounds to reconsider. I think, as the court referenced earlier during the objection during opening, the other purpose for which this is admissible is 8033 as Ms. Nafsker's plan. And what is relevant is what both people in that apartment were doing, saying, how they were behaving. That is relevant to whether or not Mr. Duren reasonably believed that one of the circumstances outlined in the Defense of Others statute was present. And so under both of those bases, the evidence is admissible. The court's ruling should stand. I'll also note that I think it would be very unfairly prejudicial to the defense were the court to reconsider its motion now, or its order now, after we've already delivered an opening in reliance on the court's ruling. The state had the opportunity to ask to speak to the court before the jury was called this morning, and it did not do that. So I think all proofs favorable require that the evidence be admissible. It's admissible under two separate theories. The state has not produced any areas of fact or law that the court has misapprehended. It's simply interpreting evidence differently.
I like her argument.
Ultimately, it'll be up to the jury to decide how to interpret the evidence. So the court should deny the state's motion to reconsider.
Okay, thank you.
The court allowed some evidence the state does not want
We're asking
in.
the court, obviously, to reconsider the court's ruling. We do believe that the court respectfully has misapprehended an issue of fact in the sense that it has misinterpreted the relevant portions of the transcript. The court referenced in its order pages 50 to 57, and what the state attempted to do in its pleading was to go through those pages as closely as possible. And I submit that if the court does that again, the court will see that although there are several references to a plan or planning or questions along the lines of what's the plan, all of those in context very clearly refer to the defendant questioning Ms. Nafsker about when she was going to leave. What's the plan? When are you leaving? When is Brenda going to pick you up? This is not what we planned for. Those are the types of statements that he is making, and that is the context of any references to a plan. It is certainly true that according to the defendant and statements that he made, he told police he learned from Caitlin that night that she said something along the lines of, I'm going to call the police and have the kids taken away from you. We are not disputing that, but that is a completely separate plan, so to speak, than the plan involving the two witnesses that are the subject of this motion. If we look at the plan involving those two witnesses, I believe it's uncontested that Ms. Plumunden will testify that that plan was a secret. The entire object of that plan was to conceal it from the defendant, because if they didn't, it wouldn't work. The plan was to assist Ms. Nafsker in stealing away with the children sometime in the early morning hours while the defendant was asleep. There is no reason that anyone involved in that plan, if they wanted it to succeed, would tell the defendant about that plan. Certainly not Ms. Plumunden or Ms. Nafsker. Ms. Plumunden's testimony, I think we all agree, will establish she never spoke with the defendant. And as we heard in the opening statement today from defense, I don't believe they're contesting that either, because according to the opening, by the time the defendant got outside and saw Caitlin there with her bags, Ms. Plumondon was already gone. So there's literally no opportunity for them to speak. In the defendant's statement, he said he didn't have Brenda's number. He wanted to call her to facilitate Caitlin leaving, but he could not because he didn't have her contact information. So I think we can all agree there was no means of communication. The evidence will show that there was no communication between Ms. Plumondon or Ms. Spurgeon and the defendant, so the plan did not get communicated to him that way. It seems that the theory that the defense is operating under is that to make this defense relevant, the defendant had some inkling. He knew that there was a plan. They're going to claim that he said, or he thought, well, I don't know the specifics, but something is up. And that is not relevant for a justification defense. The defendant, if he is going to successfully pursue that and successfully argue it, at least to the level of obtaining a jury instruction by the sum modicum standard, has to present some evidence that he reasonably believed that a kidnapping was taking place or about to take place, that Ms. Nafziger was conducting a kidnapping or about to. The knowledge that there is a kidnapping implied is inherent there, and it's necessary. If the defendant merely thought, she's up to something, I don't know what it is, that is not enough.
But he's just not thinking that, he's saying that.
He is saying, what's the plan? When are you leaving? When is Brenda coming to get you? I don't believe there's any indication in the transcript or anywhere else that he's saying, are you doing something? What's your plan with Brenda? I think that is a completely different context that's just not present there. So that kidnapping has to be there. He has to know specifically that there is a plan to kidnap these people. And all the references to some suspicion or some plan, there is no reference to Ms. Plumondon, and that kind of gets to the crux of it. The plan involves her. She's a key part of the plan. She's going to come up to Berlin and aid Ms. Nafziger. She is the only lifeline and the only transportation. He doesn't mention her at all. And in fact, in his statement, he says, I was trying to call her. I wanted to call her, but I couldn't. And I think had Ms. Nafziger told him about this plan, or if he had learned of it from her in that way, why would he call that person? There makes no sense that he would do that. So I think, you know, the crux of our motion is that a reading of that transcript and all the evidence and taking into account everything that we know and we expect to be evidence here in the trial will establish that the defendant did not know about that plan, and therefore it cannot be relevant for his state of mind. I know counsel is arguing that it is relevant for Ms. Nafziger's state of mind. We've covered that, so I won't belabor the point, but when we were talking about a justification defense, we were talking about what the defendant knew and what was in his head, and does it explain or justify what he did. If he didn't know about the plan, then logically, that he cannot have acted because of the plan. He cannot have killed Caitlin because he thought she was going to kidnap his children as part of a plan with Ms. Plumondon. He may have certainly done so, and I think the evidence would support an inference or a conclusion that Mr. Duren killed Ms. Nafziger because she thought she was going to take his children away because that's what she told him. But that was by calling the police and taking a very different route. That is overt. That is through some sort of legal process where she's saying, I'm going to call the police, have you arrested, say something that will result in the children being taken away. That is a completely different track. That does not put into his head anything about Ms. Plumondon, or certainly anything that would should enable him to now argue, oh, I killed her because I thought she was going to kidnap my kids, specifically through this plan with taking kids away early in the morning. There has to be some indicator that he did that, and we just think it's not there, and that's why we filed the motion, Your Honor. So we respectfully submit that a reading of that transcript, while it certainly contains references to plans and planning, contains no references to the plan at issue here, and that's the one that matters.
Understood.
I need to see this transcript.
Just briefly a quote from the case cited by the state in its motion. Quote, there need not be direct evidence that the defendant learned of the victim's state of mind so long as the jury reasonably could have inferred that he or she did learn from it. jury's not required to make this inference, but the fact that they permissibly could have means that it's permissible to admit the statements. The court should not disturb its ruling. There are clearly reasonable minds can interpret this transcript in multiple different ways, and that in and of itself is enough to allow it to go to the jury. So the jury, as the finders of fact, can interpret it how they will. I think other than that, we've covered it in our objection, our prior hearings on this issue.
Okay. I want to make sure to give counsel the opportunity to make any additional arguments with respect to the motion to reconsider. So I will. I also understand the practical objections raised by defendant counsel relative to considering the motion at this point in the proceeding. I will give you a specific ruling on the motion to reconsider tomorrow if you're ready with that objection. You're satisfied with the objection, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and you're satisfied with the argument on that motion?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, no, I'll return to issue the order. I'm going to read that pages 50 to 57 of the transcript. I'll read it for the 101st time tonight. I'll reread it again for the 101st time, and I will issue an order that's likely going to be consistent with my prior order. Just to be clear, but I'll put a little bit more on the record for purposes of any issues that need to be covered. Anything further on that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Next, do we have an agenda for tomorrow? If we need to approach, we can do that. But the jury was attentive today. I know we've asked them to set aside a couple weeks out of their lives and out of their work, and I'm certainly okay with the fact that we ended early today. But I want to make sure that we're filling the day as much as possible because we're asking them to set aside time out of their life. So I just want to make sure we have a nice full day tomorrow, if that's possible.
So, Your Honor, we do anticipate that we will have a full day tomorrow. That will lead us potentially to an issue depending on how quickly we move. The medical examiner in this case is not available until the 23rd, which is Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. He is, I'm not sure if he's at a training or I don't know, he's out of state. He's returning at 5 o'clock, I believe on the 22nd. He has agreed to be immediately getting back into his car and driving up here to be available for the 23rd at 9 a.m., which is also immediately prior to testimony he has to do via WebEx for another case. So no matter where we are in terms of tomorrow, the state will be running into, we anticipate, a scheduling issue, so we wanted to flag that for the court's attention.
Certainly, and that's thank you. Number one, thank you. Number two, as I said, I have no issue with the fact that we ended early today, but I want to make sure we have a nice full day tomorrow, so that the jury understands that why we're asking them to take this much time out of their life. So it sounds like we've got a full day tomorrow.
Pam Berg, welcome to the gallery.
Roughly,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Of course, they're going to approach here, which makes us go up to number 8 on the day for the counter, on the sidebar counter. It's possible that this break was taken because of the next witness. I don't know. It sounds like the defense won a ruling pre-trial that allowed them to bring in part of the transcript. And the state filed a motion to reconsider. The defense had a pretty strong argument saying, Judge, we've already presented it to the jury. It would be very prejudicial to us if you suddenly took away something you allowed us to present in the opening. And I agree with that. And you know, the state got up and argued a pretty strong argument as well for why it should not be included. But looks like the judge is going to stick with it's allowed in, and it's part of the transcript. He said he's read for the 101st time. So probably something that not Josh, I'm sorry, his name isn't Josh, something that Dustin told the police on interrogation. Gabby for Justice, member for 15 months, happy to be a part of the best channel on YouTube. All right, did you hear lawyer you know mention you in his birthday stream? He said he wants to have that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Peter Tragos is honestly just an amazing lawyer. Love what he does on YouTube. He is the inspiration behind my channel in many ways. and to the reason that Mrs. R.A. said I could do it. No kidding. I mean, I literally had to show Mrs. R.A. Peter Tragos' channel to say, this is what I want to do and here's how it'll work, before she gave me the go-ahead. So when the cases we're covering line up again, I would love to, or, sooner if he, whatever he has in mind. Peter's one of the great ones. I hesitate to say this, but I've been thinking about it, and I have no filter. Well, I've got some filter, but without getting into too much detail, there's another content creator, who found themselves having to be involved in the legal system recently to protect themselves and their family, and that effort brought the attention of the big court watchers. I have to say this. I don't know where I'm conflicted on this, right? Because although the case involved was like an injunction type case, which we have followed a little bit. Typically, if it involves children, we wouldn't follow that type. But then I look at every other case that has, and it doesn't, the details don't matter because it's just the larger philosophical question that I want to get involved with. The larger question is, what about all the other families for all the other crimes that we follow? At what point is it wrong to intrude on a public hearing, to say, oh, I'm interested in that, I want to follow it? Because, I mean, we've done it. I mean, I'm guilty as sin when it comes to this. We've followed evictions, we've followed drug cases, petty theft. With us doing the court hopping, we get a lot of little. I mean, we've covered some adoption stuff on here. Usually, the adoption is the good stuff with Judge Wolf. He doesn't do that anymore, but at least not on the live stream. But it begs the question, where's the line? Where's the line with what we should follow and shouldn't follow? At what point does someone else's legal proceedings be something other than fair game for public interest? I don't know if I have the right
Attorney
answer.
Duren, I will look at those two motions relative to the items that you inquired about. I'll get rulings to you on those quickly, and to the defense, obviously. And Attorney Kettles, with respect to the motion you filed about the status of Mr. Duren, is that being worked on?
As far as we know, Your Honor, it should be settled, but we'll report back tomorrow morning if it's not.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, so look forward to a full day tomorrow. Anything further, counsel, from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Attorney Kettles or Kenny?
Nothing.
Okay, all right, thank you. Matter concluded. See you tomorrow.
Matter concluded. See you tomorrow. Judge just grabs his stuff and heads for the door. That will be it for us on this one today. I'm not sharing the details of that case. It was just a hypothetical. Basically, it's somebody who does something similar to what I do, right? Imagine, let me put it as me. Imagine if I, doing what I do here, eventually got into a legal dispute of some sort with a subscriber. Let's put it that way. A subscriber, where I thought they crossed a line, and I'm not happy with what they've done, and I want an injunction against them, to prevent them from being around me. That has to be filed in court, right? That's a legal proceeding, And if I filed something, if I headed down to Pitt County Courthouse and filed my paperwork, and somebody doing a search said, "Hey, I just want to see what Recovery Addict's up to. Let's check and see if he appears in the courts." Someone will find it, and then imagine, ESPN, not ESPN because they're a sports network, but I'm using them because they're not the right one. ESPN shows up and says, "We'd like to cover that court hearing. Judge, can we get some cameras in there?" How would I feel? That's the question. How would I feel if somebody else looked at my legal matters and said, that's something I'd like to cover? And my gut reaction is, it's a public hearing, right? Unless the judge orders it closed for one of the legally allowed reasons, it's a public hearing and it's fair game. But at the same time, cases involving kids typically aren't streamed. So anyway, half of chat is lost. It's all right. It's all right. No worries. It's not a huge thing. It's just something that I'm trying to wrap my head around a little bit. I definitely feel for anybody who's caught in that situation where they have to go to the courts as a victim, right? When you have to go to the courts as a victim to seek protection, to seek legal protection, it does have a different feel to it then. So anyway, I don't know the details enough to talk about it beyond that. That's why I kept it general, and the details don't matter. I don't have an opinion there. It's just something that it raised a question in my mind, and I thought I'd bounce it off you guys to see what you thought. But let's see. I know typically my number one go-to for stalking is Smith & Wesson. I believe Smith & Wesson provides great legal coverage for stalking situations with very few complaints from survivors or from Smith & Wesson's a maker of firearms and ammunition. All right, let's see. I think that's all for today. Do we want to see if anybody else had anything happening, just to end the note on something a little lighter than what we had today? Let's see if a couple courts are out and
So
about.
that test is not admissible in this court.
Judge
So
Wolf.
you may consider that only as to whether or not she was answering truthfully about the matters that went forward and why she went forward with her further testing or request for a blood draw. But you cannot hear the results of that test or even the type of test it was. But there was a test that was given, and according to that, I've allowed that question to be asked. So I apologize for the interruption, but I wanted, and that was done over the state's, by the defendant's objection. He objects to the idea that even the mention of that test should be made, but I've allowed it because of the line of questioning about what was she relying on before she went further.
Thank you, Judge. And as the judge stated, you haven't had that specialized training to be able to talk to the jury about that, correct?
That's correct. I
Okay.
haven't had any medical training on that.
It's cool. It's a trial, but we're in the middle of it.
But you were trained.
I don't think we can catch up. It's a hearing, at least. Let's see. Judge Boyd is almost done for the day. Her courtroom is nearly empty.
No residing in homes with minors.
Parenting classes.
There's to be no contact with the complainant. There's to be restitution of $245.21 to Frost Bank.
Where to show that's awesome.
There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
Went to college, got my GED,
Okay.
and gone to nursing school.
All right. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes. Once that's complete, community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. In custody, I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court and a TAP evaluation.
LAB.
If not
Did you
accepted
lose
in
one?
Felony drug court, then follow all TAP recommendations. Probation, there's also a life skills course.
And parenting classes, Judge.
Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You're gonna have to maintain your sobriety. And when you're on probation, you're not allowed to use marijuana unless you have a prescription for it. So don't go testing positive. The felony drug court program is a very good program. So do your best, be honest with them so you can get in that program, okay? And they'll help you get your life together, okay? All right, good luck to you. Thank you, counsel.
Okay, Josh says we need to go to Thurston really quickly for District Court number 1. Let's do a quick search here. Thurston District. Sorry, let's try that again. Thurston County District Court 1. Okay. Which one are we looking for? Hour 13, that's it. We need to start at 24 minutes, 55 seconds. It's still live. That's the problem. Do we go back 24 minutes, 55 seconds? 1:13, so we have to go forward to 10 minutes after. I think it's right here.
Police reports, however, outside of making that record.
When's his next court date? Are you positioned to?
Hey, Josh, how far back should we go?
Looks like his next court date for Olympia is on the 23rd, I believe.
And then he's got something in Pierce County too.
Is it right after this one?
29th? 23rd and the 29th are the next court dates coming up for those two matters.
You get a chance to look at the police reports?
I have.
Okay. Do you have any comment on that? What I would be inclined to do is basically find that he's in violation and maybe set over a sanction hearing, but for a short period of time.
We would ask for that.
Find that he's in violation for the no insurance ticket from Olympia. Well, that's all of the same incident.
Why is this so pixelated?
No insurance ticket was found committed in the city of Olympia from June 26, 2025.
Are they using Amazon Web too?
DWLS third, as well as operating a motor vehicle from June 20th.
Thurston 1 isn't live for you?
In Pierce County from January 13th.
Your Honor, there's also another insurance.
Hang on one second. This is Thurston 1, and it's the only video we have. Oh, this is a past live stream. We're supposed to go to 24. 24 what? $24.55. There we go.
Did you do that?
Okay. Start my video.
Oh, it's a
On the lower left screen, you should have a little there. I think you're going to come on here in a second. Yeah, there you are.
You see me?
Hi there.
Okay, I don't see me, but
I see you. And did you mute him? No, no. Okay, so I need you to unmute, Mr. Blatt. Click on your microphone.
Attorney White is currently seeking new clients, if you know anybody. You guys remember ICQ? The messenger tool?
Mr. Blatt, in the lower left corner, there's going to be a little silhouette of a microphone with a line through it. You need to click on that. I can't hear you until you do that. I can't hear you. You've muted your microphone. You need to unmute it.
Send a request to unmute. He's going to reconnect.
Still can't hear you.
To the pinata behind his head. It looks like it's like a metal roofing of some sort, so he might be in a shed. He's turning his camera off and on.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to be able to do both, hear you and see you.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you. I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Shit.
I heard that.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Soundbite? I don't know. There we go.
There you are.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, don't swear
Perfect.
anymore.
And I
We'll
can
have to
see you,
mute
so
you.
don't change a thing.
All right, I won't touch it.
So there's a motion on the calendar here. You're representing yourself, correct?
I am myself.
I
I'm in
know.
propria persona.
I'm sorry?
I'm in propria persona.
Okay,
I
well,
am
in any
myself.
case, you don't have an attorney and you'll be running your own defense. Is that what you're
Okay.
telling me?
Yes.
Okay, and so the state's asked to, there's just a state, the city of Tumwater is asking to continue the trial. Did you see that motion?
No,
But
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you. But I will tell you what
I trust you.
the substance of the motion is.
I have to explain if you missed the last hearing. I was poisoned by insecticide. I bought anti-flea spray for my dog and it said non-toxic on it. So I sprayed it all over the house and my bed and my clothes.
Ugh.
And it knocked me out for 2 weeks and I still lose my balance sometimes. It was really poison.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
You poisoned yourself.
But here's where we're at on the trial. The state filed a motion.
That's not how you use it.
Let's see, when it's
It has
right now,
instructions on the
trial
bottom.
is set for confirmation is October 22nd, in 2 days. And then the trial is set for October 29th and 30th. The state's asking to move that because they have a witness issue. One of the police officer apparently is not available on that time. And so they want to move the trial, maybe a week or two. And I guess I would get your position on that request.
Well, what'll happen if I decline that, if I object to it?
Well, then they're asking, then I get to decide whether or not the state has shown good cause to continue the trial or not. And then one of two things can happen, I guess. You're objecting, I can sustain your objection, not continue the trial, and then the state would probably be out of luck. Or I could find good cause because a material witness is unavailable, and then I can go a little bit beyond when speedy trial is to
Pamberg, thank you
to
so
allow
much.
the trial to take place with the state's witness. And I can tell you a couple of things. One thing that this is a fairly common occurrence from both the defense and the state. And if a defense comes to me and says, hey, look, I need these witnesses to defend my case, but they're not available, can we move the trial? I'll generally accommodate that. I'll let people put on their defense. But the same is true for the state. If they have a witness, and I think who is material to their case, and they can't proceed without, I'll give the state some leeway to find good cause and reset the trial to when that witness can appear. So that might be a spoiler alert, but it's up to you. You don't have to agree. No one's asking you that. I'm just asking, I'm telling you what the state's asking. I'm telling you what generally happens in situations like this. And I'm just asking for your response, and then I'll make a ruling.
Okay, if you deny the prosecution's request, then the trial would be held in 2 days?
No, the trial, I don't know what would happen if they denied the state's request. Then if the state can't proceed, they can't. But I think I kind of hinted that generally I grant this type of motion, but because I want to be upfront with you. But it's up to you as to how you want to decide.
Well, I object to their motion.
All right.
All right, you object.
I'm going to find good cause to continue the trial because of the state's unavailability of a state's witness. I'm going to ask Ms. Kidmacher when's the soonest available date that you can be ready and have a trial. and I'll set it for that date.
Your Honor, my understanding is the officer is unavailable through November 8th. Other than that, I don't have notes as to other unavailable dates.
Is Attorney White just here to drum up
So what
business?
we're going to do then,
just get
Mr.
like a free
Blatt,
advertisement.
we're going to set the trial for November 17th and 18th, and then we'll have confirmation on, we put these on November 12th, which is a Wednesday at the afternoon.
May I ask something?
Yes.
As I understand, the hearing I missed was the motions hearing, right?
No, this is the motion hearing.
Okay, I'm not prepared because, as I said, I was sick and I'm still recovering.
No, but the motion is, hang on just a second. The motion is to continue the trial. And I've already asked you what your response to that is.
Oh, so it's the prosecution's motion, but I also,
Yes.
didn't I also notice a motion hearing?
Okay, we can renote that if you want. What, I didn't see that. That's not
Yes,
what I'm
please.
here for here today. When did you ask for that motion hearing to be held? Oh, I see.
Your Honor, at the hearing back on September 3rd, I see a note for a motion hearing set for today. Defendant must file his motion no later than October 6th. And
Well, that was me. Yeah, did you ever file anything?
I don't think so because, like I said, I
Because you were
was
sick. I get it. Yeah, all right.
was
Well,
being
you're still
defleed.
free to, let's. Well, do you want that motion heard?
Yes, please. But I'm not.
You better
prepared.
file it. I mean, you were supposed to file something by October 8th. We didn't get
Right.
anything.
Right. Can we reset that and the deadline for me to submit the motions?
Yes, we can do that, but we'll probably, in order to accommodate that, we're gonna have to move this trial out a little bit further.
Okay, past the speedy date?
Yes, it's already past the speedy date based on my finding of good cause because of the state's material witness unavailability. I can, at your request, if you want your motion heard before that, I'll accommodate that, but we're gonna have to mess with the dates a little bit.
Okay, I'll waive speedy trial rights for that.
Well, I don't even think we need to get there. I can make findings. Okay, so let's forget those dates. Let me redo these dates here. Well, let me ask you, how are you feeling now? How quickly can you get your motion together?
I'm doing okay. Like I said, I lose my balance sometimes, but I'm getting better.
I'm just asking you for a time limit. How much time do you need? I'll give you the time you need. I just want to know how much you need.
1 week.
All right.
1 week.
So hang on just today. Let me take a look here.
I still have a bug.
And Your Honor, I'm not sure what type of motion or whether it's going to be something that requires officer testimony. So I would just ask that it be.
My guess is if it's constitutional grounds. If you need officer testimony, you can ask to reset it. But
I would ask that it be set after November 8th.
Madison.
Because the officers.
Do you know, can you give me some details about this
All right,
case?
so we're going to set a motion hearing for November 10th.
To the burner.
All right.
Yes.
You need to have your motion filed by October 27th. It's a week from today. So you have a week to get your motion together. Get it filed by October 27th. The state needs to get their response in by November 3rd. And then the motion will be heard on November 10th. Why don't we just do a confirmation for that date also? And then I already moved the trial date to November 17th and 18th. We'll just leave that date. And then the confirmation will be the same as the motion hearing date on November 10th. And if he's successful, then we'll do it that way.
And you said trial 17th and 18th.
What's that? 17th and 18th. Thank you. Okay, so do you understand where we're at?
Yes.
When do you need to have your motion filed by?
The 27th, 1 week.
Right. And then the state by the 3rd, we'll see everybody back here on the 10th.
I love that he quizzes him.
Okay. Thank you.
Hang on just a second. I have another question for you. Have you been getting text reminders of court dates?
Yes.
Great. We'll see you back here. And then this will be excluded from speedy trial calculation. I'll make that finding based on the witness unavailability and to accommodate Mr. Blatt's ability to get his motion in. Understand all that, Mr. Blatt?
Yes.
You're free to go.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. is, so I think everybody else is a change of plea or a disposition of some sort, so we may as well go through.
I can call Mr. Nicholas Watson, who's present in the courtroom with us today.
Who is he? Mr. Watson, come on up,
Mr.
please.
Leonard's still with us. His dome is here. Oh, we're getting the view of the apartment. Possibly insecticide as well.
So Mr. Blatt, you're free to go. You can just hang up your phone.
I'm trying to go.
Trying. They're going to kick him out.
What's happening with Mr. Watson today?
Your Honor, yes, and we would be ready to enter into deferred prosecution today. I have submitted the petition in order. However,
there we go.
I could not print the copies of his evaluations.
All right, we're gonna bail on that. That's how we're gonna end it right there. All right, it's only 3:16, but we get an early out on a Monday. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, when you get that like flea spray for your dog or whatever, there's a proper usage, and usually it's like you put a couple drops here or there on the back of the cat or the dog. You don't like soak your house in it, and then his bed and the furniture and everything else. No wonder. Anything is toxic if you get enough of it. And he got enough of it for sure. Aim nozzle away from face. Pull pin. Sweep. Let's see. It sucks when you end early and I still have 4 good hours of work to do. Jamie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm super excited. Let's I wanted to see if Madison Weaver can get us information about the case in Wyoming with a CNA starting tomorrow. Elderly patient escaped from room and died from hypothermia. He lied and said she was in bed and disarmed the door. Wow. All right. Good stuff. Oh, mods have it already. We're good. Jury trial for traveling CNA charged in legacy death to begin Thursday. All right, we'll have to see if it's streamed and if there's ability to get it. So, all right, thank you very much, you guys. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning, bright and early, where we continue this case. Guys, have a good day. Good to each other. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.
Because he's the guy.
I saw a chicken fight